on the 30th of April, 2017.
The Los Angeles vacation. See the stars of Hollywood. Enjoy a pina colada in the Sunset Strip. All expenses paid. Who's invited? Well, you. Sabc CEO Nomsa Pihalizo. How will you reply?
What do you think she picked?
That's just bloody rude.
In 2017, having recently been appointed as group executive for the SABC, Nomsa received her first major controversy. In March of that year, the SABC was unable to pay its show producers. In fact, they could only pay 32 million out of the 150 million rand owed for services rendered by the producers after having paid all permanent employees.
Question:
How does the SABC make its money? Great question. I'll answer you after this quick ad break.
We've been talking about funeral cover for many years.
Now, let's meet some of the people who trust clientele to look after their lives.
Clientele paid millions to have Lillian and Desmond Dube sell you coffin covers. Hey, there's Katlego jigging his into. Now, how much clientele pays SABC depends on what time Desmond shows up on TV and how many people are watching. How does SABC get more people to watch so they can get more money from advertisers? Well, they need better shows. Where do they get better shows from? Well, show producers. You get where I'm going, right? The SABC failed to pay the very people making the company money in favor of the CEO parting it up with Brooke Logan and Rich Forrester. Meanwhile, one of the show producers who will remain unnamed had to pay his staff, cast members, and crew by taking out a loan. Now, you know a loan has interest, right? After months of this nonsense, what did SABC do about that extra unnecessary interest incurred?
What about the interest?
You are amazing. Thank you for your loyalty.
But the
production is
interest.
great. Keep up the good work.
Now, there's a reason why I'm telling you all of this. According to Pumzile Van Dam, by the way, ma'am, your name, legendary. SABC only started experiencing these woes after the reign of former COO Hlaudi. Now, in the spirit of the SABC, advert. This is Blackie. This here is Maglera Doughboy. Don't you think they should swap voices? Advert over. Hlaudi Motson. You know what, guys? Do you guys ever think maybe, just maybe we might have too many languages in SA? The SABC, being a state-owned entity, has always been shrouded in secrecy, even rumored to be one of the most corrupt organizations in South Africa. It has always been kept on the hush-hush, though. Until this guy. Now, this guy, guys, like, you know what, in my humble opinion, is the foundation of the pap, not the rice. Yeah? He's the only guy who keeps publicly failing upwards. In fact, let me fix this picture. 1986, Messi Matsohai fails matric, gets a constant freelance gig at Radio Sesotho, moves to Lesedi FM as a stringer, which, mind you, is a journalist, which people usually have to study for 3 to about 4 years. Now, I'm not one to knock a man's hustle down, especially if you can do the job, but remember, we have a problem. Lesedi FM hired him anyway. Did I mention that he has a friend list that he built up in the ANC? I don't think that'll come up later. 2003, he applies to be a junior journalist at the SABC, an ANC-owned entity. Looking here, it says that you got 87% for English first language.
No, look, if you talk about metric, I'm a metric myself.
Ah, I see.
I'm able to do everything without that paper.
Well, sir, you're hired. He worked his way up the ranks by allegedly getting friends promoted, promoting himself, giving unpermitted raises to employees / freelancers of his choice, and fighting with his bosses over content. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Finally being fired by the SABC in 2007. 2009. It says misconduct over here.
You read a document, you are not there.
You know what, you son of a gun? You're hired again. You want to be acting COO? Now, there's too many issues to cross when it comes to his rise at the SABC, including his salary increase from 2.8 million to 3.7 million. But this video isn't really about him, but the SABC in general, because I will admit he has done a considerable amount of good for the SABC too. The question that I'm here to ask is, at what cost? Now we get to the point. The radical change that this man keeps talking about has real world consequences. Advert. My gremlins! Firstly, I want to thank you guys for constantly watching my videos. I am literally so excited to see that we're almost at 7K subscribers, bro! Oh, I'm so hyped. I literally remember a couple of videos ago, I was still pushing 200 subs, bro. So you guys know what my main goal is. It's to grow the South African music industry. My first point of order is to make a mixtape with established artists I know and unknown artists that I've been speaking to in my emails and my DMs. Now, I'm starting to realize actually how much this mixtape is going to cost to make. This includes paying for a DistroKid plan, features from some of the established artists that I mentioned earlier, and making merch for the tape for you guys. So, yes you, I want you to open up the description right now. I'm being serious, guys. Open up the description quickly. Just go down to the description, scroll quickly. Okay. Now that you're there, do you see there's a link there? All right. That link is for donations for this mixtape. Look, I know you guys have tried to donate via e-wallets and cash sends. In fact, some of you really came through. So far, you've raised $300. Thank you guys, I appreciate it. But I realized that some of you had issues with the number that I sent in the community post. So let's scrap that from now on. From here on out, click on that link in the description below to donate. In fact, with that donation link there, you can donate even 1 rand if you have, Joe. Honestly, it's whatever. Let us grow the music industry in South Africa, and let's not wait for the mainstream media to make us money. Lastly, you know the drill. Like and subscribe. Toodaloo. Advert done. Now, I watched this man's interview. Question: how do you say things like,
What I can say I did. If they employ you, to dismiss you, it was going to be very difficult for them. Because before they dismiss you, they must come to me.
but it's possible for... How do you say this?
You can find any fault, but you can't find fault on me when it comes to dismissal of employees.
But you have this.
Station manager, Hlaudi, because they need to please the CEO at that time. Hlaudi walks in, Raymond, Kim bianong kitle mo limsari. What's up, Mayweather? Hotel leadership. Wow. Hotel leadership. I was told in front of my colleagues that I'm suspended.
How is it that you actually say this?
I work with many people that I didn't like at the SABC. I don't like when people are fired.
But then you also have this. And how the hell do you say this?
I'm very caring. I will never dismiss an employee for the sake of dismissing an employee.
But then you have this. Now this is the reason why I'm making this video. During this interview, Hlaudi said something very interesting. Mac G asked,
and how are you getting that revenue? Is it just via advertising?
This was his answer.
There are many ways of killing a cat. You have that sales division, but also what is key at the SABC is negotiations. You know, when you talk, example, sports rights, very expensive, but you should know when you go and talk how to charm. So when I came, actually SABC paid half of the money.
Now,
Listen properly.
did you guys catch that?
SABC paid half of the money. Half of the money.
From what I hear, he's vaguely saying he saved money by, for example, paying sport providers less. It turns out that this is not all. The radical change in the company came from the merging of departments, the restructuring of finances, which affected many employees, and more importantly, the unfair dismissal of over 120 employees over claims of medical insurance fraud. So here's a quick one. I want to define what medical aid fraud is. A person will get medical aid. Said person will conspire with the crooked doctor, having them sign off on a non-existent medical bill. Medical aid pays out that medical bill, and the said person and doctor will split that amount. Now, the employees of the SABC emphatically deny this. However, these employees suffered the consequences at a cost. Okay, let's look at the facts here. How does medical aid work? So, most companies have a compulsory clause for medical aid. Usually the company itself doesn't offer the medical aid but outsources it to other companies such as Discovery, and in SABC's case, MedScheme. Now, because it's compulsory, companies usually offer to pay a sum towards the medical aid premium to the medical aid insurance company. From then on, all medical bills of the employee is paid by the insurance, aka MedScheme. You guys actually see the issue here, right? What the employees were alleged to have done did not involve the SABC. Because look at this. Whether the employee claimed or didn't claim on the insurance, the SABC would still be paying the exact same premium. Organjan, guys. The SABC fired these employees over evidence found. One of the employees had their medical records shown to them at the dismissal meeting. This is bad. When a patient goes to see a doctor, they're bound by doctor-patient confidentiality, meaning a doctor, by law, is not allowed to tell anyone about your medical conditions at all. What the SABC did here? Highly illegal. The SABC hired an independent firm, Tokiso, to assess the situation. Looking at point number 1 alone, the SABC wouldn't have a case to dismiss these employees at all. Looking at point number 2, the SABC used illegal tactics to find evidence of an offense. Just by those 2 points alone, there were more. Tokiso recommended that sanctions could be applied, but dismissal? No. So why is there a document with this guy's signature saying that Tokiso signed off on the dismissal of 123 employees? This is instance 2 of the SABC literally breaking the law. Now, why am I telling you this? Remember this vague response?
If I know this instruction is wrong, I will never.
Or this statement?
If the SABC make a profit, I believe that the SABC must share with workers, because it is those workers who are sweating for SABC to make that profit.
Well, it's starting to look to me that each question asked was carefully answered, first to make himself look good and then deflect. In fact, he's become so good at this method. Notice how before he answers, he always starts with the word no. Almost to a point where he's trying to reframe your thought process before he answers the question.
No, look, no, look, no. Look, no, look, no.
All right, I'm trying to finish this up. Here are the facts. Number 1, the SABC was in financial ruin. Number 2, Hlaudi has taken ownership of being the driving force behind the SABC making money. Number 3, besides advertising, he's admitted to using other tactics to save money. Number 4, 123 human beings unfairly lost their jobs in favor of paying
Sweetness.
and reporting obscene profits at the SABC. And I think right now, this is the most important part. Hey, there's Katlego jigging his into.